I'm standing here with Roberto Pena. He's from Infodev, which is one of the booths which are being featured outside in the courtyard surrounding the Jamaica Conference Center. How are you doing, Roberto?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here.
Okay, tell me a little bit, first of all, about how beneficial this has been to your organization being a part of Digital Jam 2.0.
Well, it's always great to get exposure for a program before we have feet on the ground for the EPIC program, which is going to be a host of support services for entrepreneurs in the Caribbean. It's good to connect with them personally and find out what they need. So.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about this project that you're about to enter.
Okay, so I work with Infodev, which is a trust fund program in the World Bank. And so what we do is we go into different regions where there are entrepreneurs who need our support to get started, and we basically figure out what's missing and provide it. So we're doing the same thing here.
By support, what do you mean? Because I'm sure a lot of business owners are probably hearing you speak now and thinking, wow, I wonder if it is that he can provide me with money. I wonder if it is that he can provide me with advice. What angle do you take?
Yeah, in different regions, needs are different, right? So some places it can be something like, access to funding, access to networks or mentorship, access to business, or marketing coaching, or sometimes it's as easy as access to facilities. People don't have a good computer and internet connection. They can come in sometimes to their centers or find the people who can work them and partner with them.
So is it that you bring different partners in the industry together to enable each of them to support each other, or is it that your organization actually provides the support exclusively?
We help the local talent create the network that works for themselves, right? So we don't believe in bringing, just a series of people from outside to just tell everybody what to do. They already know what to do. They just don't have the network or the access to each other to do it. So we enable them to find each other and have the access to the resources that are already there.
Okay, so for argument's sake, I have a small business. I want to take it to the next level. I need to get into the United States market and probably the European market. What can you do for me?
So are we talking Jamaica specifically, or
Say I'm a small business owner in Jamaica and I want to expand for argument's sake, I want to expand my company to some other regions. Is it that you would have to sit down with me and troubleshoot and advise me first?
Well, in the past, we have done that. The program that we're setting up here is a transport or an adaptation of programs that we've set up elsewhere, and they've been very successful. So, for example, incubators in Kenya, South Africa, Armenia. Places like here where there was a community, like you said, with enterprises that needed that kind of service. And in the past, it is something that we provided. Now, we are currently doing the needs assessment, so figuring out what people actually need on the ground. So before we start, deploying stuff. But if that's a need, then we'll address it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking with me.
It's a pleasure.
And I hope you're also gaining from the conference, because there's lots of information being passed around and exchanged here. Is there anything that you have learned thus far from the conference? Have you gotten a chance to sit in?
It's invaluable to talk to everybody and figure out where they're coming at the problem from and what they want. There's no substitute for listening to the people that you're going to try to be helping.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Roberto Pena from Infodev. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll now be speaking with another gentleman who is also related to one of the booths outside. His name is Mr. Jason Wongsam, and he is the patient administrator of JIPO, that is the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office. He's coming in to speak with me at this moment. Good day, Jason. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so you are, first of all, introduce yourself with your official title, please.
Well, I'm Jason Wongsam of the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office. I'm the patent administrator there, and basically what we do at JIPO is we protect all intellectual property rights. We are an agency of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, and what we are responsible is for creativity of the mind. Anything you think has an intellectual property value to it. And what it is we seek to do is give you protection for this intellectual property, because you are entitled to make money from your creativity.
So before I actually ask you about your involvement in the conference specifically, you're speaking about intellectual property, and I'm gonna ask a question. If, for example, I come up with a business idea, a business plan, or a concept of any sort, and I want to present this to other companies to get partnership from them, but I'm scared about them stealing my idea. What is it that that JIPO can do for me?
Well, we can give you advice firstly on how to protect your business idea. There's several elements to every business idea. You have probably you want to brand your business idea with a trademark. Probably you have concepts or processes that are better than what exists out there. You might want to protect with a patent. Your documentation can be copywritten. So all of those things are various elements of intellectual property. So intellectual property basically covers all elements of business. So every product that you have has a certain level of intellectual property in it. So we go about telling people how to go and protect that intellectual property.
And all aspects of intellectual property can be protected, because I've been told that some aspects can't be.
Well, when you talk about what kind of intellectual property you're seeking, so like, okay, when you come up with a business idea, it might not be able to be protected under patent, but the documentation could be protected under copyright. So it all depends on what kind of intellectual property you're seeking to protect.
Okay, briefly, as we can see behind us, the guest speakers are getting ready to go on stage. So let me ask you about your involvement in the job fair outside and the exposition that's taking place. How useful has that been for JIPO?
Well, for JIPO's perspective, it's very useful in that we are giving the young out there an idea of how to go about getting into new businesses, or if they get into business, how they can protect their creativity. As it relates to the job fair, well, we give them another avenue of say, hey, maybe this is an area that's a niche market that you could take advantage of, and that's what we're here doing.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking with us. I don't believe they're ready to start just yet. I'm going to ask you one more question before we go. So, JIPO, Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, do you have any closing words directed to those persons who are watching on the World Bank website at this time, who are probably thinking about coming down to take a look at the expo and be a part of the conference here? What do you have to say to them?
Well, I say come down and find out what it is that intellectual property can do for you. You ask your questions, and we will be happy to answer them and give you the correct advice as to how to protect that intellectual property, because a lot of people out there don't know what they have.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jason Wongsam. He is from the JIPO office. And at this time, we're still standing by to begin the session this morning. But as you can imagine, there are many booths outside. Remember, it's free. You can come down, you can exchange information with all the wonderful booths that are here, the title sponsors and other tech-related companies, international and local, that are here to meet all of your business and personal needs. Stand by for the opening ceremony for the final day of Digital Jam 2.0.